Spoken Bros. But speaking of Pharaoh, you've heard of self-mummification?
Self-mummification?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah, me either. I heard of mummification, but not what you asked. But yeah, apparently there was like some, I think in Tibet or something like that, where they actually, it was like, I guess the next level of like trying to reset the mind place, where they would actually mummify themselves. And what they did was they would put themselves in a very small room with a bell, and then they would sustain from food and water, poison. I'm trying to remember, and then eat like certain poison where they just slowly kill themselves. But what happened is like they completely dry them.
Oh, they go into rigor mortis like early, and it like preserves their body and
Yeah,
shit.
it's like crispine qualities. Yeah, and they
Cool.
could tell when the guy's dead because
I think I've heard of
every
that.
day that the monk would ring that bell, and as long as they heard that bell, they knew he was still alive. But when they stopped hearing it, okay, he's dead. So there's a lot of interesting stuff. It's like, wow, it's just actually mummifying yourself.
Well, I know the Egyptians changed their technology regarding how they mummified deceased nobility. They would actually have schools where they'd practice like on dogs and stuff. And so you have all these animals, mummified animals, and people are like, they worshipped all these animals, And they're like, no, they were just practicing. And when they discovered tar, bitumen, spelled bitumen, bitumen, it's sort of a crude tar, I guess you could say. And I don't know where the Egyptians got it, but it was more readily available in Mesopotamia. Once they discovered that, the mummification process became a lot better. So you can imagine you coat your skin with tar. Well, water's not getting through that. I mean, that's what you use on a boat, pitch, basically, or on a rooftop to keep water from coming through. So there's nothing coming through that. And really, what's really breaks down tissue more than anything else is oxygen. So you can keep oxygen from getting to it. It's going to last a lot longer. And you keep moisture from getting to it. It's going to last a lot longer, That's why a lot of these mummies are black.
Right, yeah. I wonder if you could like self-mummify yourself like in a Ziploc bag. Where
if you took the oxygen out, you'd have to have one of those suckers.
Yeah, so it's like hermetically sealed. They use freeze-dried, freeze-dried vegetables and stuff. They just put it in that little machine, suck all that air out.
Yeah.
You'd be fucking mummified by a fucking Glad Ziploc bag.
Well, that would be an interesting way to die. Imagine how the funeral industry would change. So, like, we don't have burial anymore. You're like basically your body's hermetically sealed in a giant Ziploc bag, and you're like hung on a giant clothesline, and like everybody's displayed in like in a star fashion where their legs are out slightly and their arms are out slightly, like they're getting ready to hug you or something. And you're just kind of like flattened like Han Solo and carbonite, except, the material's totally transparent, and you just see your hermetically sealed, perfectly preserved body. And you can it's like when you go to the dry cleaners and you have the machine like rotate and all these dry cleaned items are on it. And there's like a machine that makes the clothing, like the clothesline, basically rotate in a big circle. So in other words, instead of going to that blazer number 91, you just hit a button. The whole clothesline mechanism like rotates and the jacket comes to you basically. And so when you go to the funeral home, you just go there and, enter the number of the person you're visiting, at the cemetery. And there's like a big dry cleaner's mechanized clothes hanger. And it goes.
Well, I wonder how long you could actually preserve a body, in a Ziploc bag.
Quite a while, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a while, apparently.
Because if you could somehow make a Ziploc bodysuit that completely conformed to every facet of the person's body, so that's step one, and then put them inside a glass viewing chamber that the air has been sucked out of it, so it's hermetically sealed. So you got two types of hermetically sealed going on here.
Well, I mean, you'd have to do stuff to the body because when the body breaks down, it releases gases and stuff. So you'd have to go through like the normal, treatment, probably a little bit more actually.
Right.
But like, yeah.
Okay.
Suck all the oxygen out, like really the Egyptians did. They'd take certain organs out and put them in separate jars because if they break down inside the body, then the body's going to, be affected by that breakdown and perhaps decompose or have a bunch of gases or liquids in it, which is going to not help it last very long. So you got to get all that shit out and then seal them. And yeah, put them in a glass viewing thing. I was just thinking like, hang them up.
Yeah.
You can stack them all together and, less room is used.
I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. I don't belong here. What the hell am I doing here? Everybody! I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. I just got fucked in the asshole. Whoa, 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 whoa. She's running out the door and I tripped her. She's running out the door. Hey, you whore! Oh my God, where did my God go? Oh, 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 oh. Baby's in my cookie jar.
What a perfect body. What a perfect soul.
Oh my God, it's trivia time! Trivia!
Can you name 10 countries in Europe? That's the challenge. That's the challenge to everyone out there in audio land. Name 10 countries in Europe. See if you can beat Jim's score. Ready? Go.
Oh my God, it's trivia time! Trivia!
UK, Germany, Italy, Scotland, Ireland, Norway, Finland, Netherlands, Denmark,
You have 9.
and
You already said it.
I'm trying to bring up the globe in my head here.
England, Germany, Italy, Scotland, Ireland, Norway, Finland, Netherlands, Denmark. Need one more.
I know you guys are out there. I know the people I'm not saying right now are like, fucking American.
You haven't really touched on Eastern Europe very much, and you haven't really touched on Central Continental Europe very much. You don't have anything from the Balkans.
Poland.
Okay, number 10. You got Poland. Yay!
Well, I was focusing because I would kind of get confused on East, but I get that Europe does combine quite a bit. So I mean, it was like Ukraine, Luxembourg, Czechoslovakia, Romania.
Well, no, Czechoslovakia doesn't exist anymore. It's either the Czech Republic or Slovakia.
Okay, the Czech Republic, Romania.
Slovakia.
Well, I think I would name myself historically speaking today. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's really racist to not include Eastern Europe when I ask about Europe. And then when I clarify, you rattle off a bunch of other Eastern European locations, and you didn't even include Russia, now mind you, the biggest Slavic nation. I think you are a Slavophobe.
Oh my God, it's trivia time! Trivia!
Mutations good. Two guys sit around a campfire and talk about wieners. Yeah, man.
I like the way I like the way you shaped your stick.
What?
That way, though, the wiener just slides right over that stick, bro.
Yeah, well, I enjoy doing that because that's
How'd you do that?
you okay, man?
I choked on my hot dog. Sometimes I forget to chew it and I just insert it in my throat.
Insert it in your throat?
Yeah, without chewing. It's like eating without mastication.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say I haven't had any women in 6 months, so the only thrill I can get nowadays is sliding my wiener on a stick.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they have those replicators where basically you can send like whatever you're drinking, lemonade, over the internet. You ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah, you basically, there's a electronic pole you put into your drink and it measures the pH level and it sends that number to someone else's computer. Their computer makes a drink that has the exact same pH, so it tastes the same.
Oh, I thought you were just trying to pull my leg again. Oh, really?
But isn't that interesting? They just replicate the information instead of, send it. So like food replicators will be like that eventually. It'll just assemble the molecules and basically copy the meal that I made, and you would get a replication of exactly how it tastes and its consistency. Although it won't be the exact same food, it'll be a copy.
So what I was going to tell you about, they had this blind guy on there. He's been blind since he was a year and a half. He lost his first eye when he was 3 months old, and then he went completely blind when he was a year and a half. So he really has no concept of sight at all. But this guy had traveled in 40 different countries most of the time by himself. And the way he travels is like sonar, like a bat does. And what he does is he makes this noise with his tongue, and he's able to, because that's what bats do. That's how they figure out how to fly in the dark and in caves.
The sound comes back to him.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and he's able to tell his orientation around him by.
Shit, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And to go even further, that in itself is weird and wow. But
That's something you could do.
They put him in a completely different, like a completely unfamiliar location, and this guy was just sort of going. Okay, there's a building with a roof on top. Oh, there's a place where you can sit underneath the roof. And he's sitting there just describing this area, where he's at, completely never been there before, completely new to him. He's describing a tree. He goes, yeah, this tree right here is pretty unique. It's deformed at the base here. And I'm assuming that everything that I'm like, wow. So yeah, so not only can he travel using radar, but he's actually able to describe where he's at. And yeah, you're right. I mean, because they said that, if push comes to shove, you can actually learn how to do that on your own.
Yeah. Well, I could see, instead of using your mouth, it would make more sense if you had, 2 pieces of wood, like they use as instruments that make a good, sharp sound.
Yep.
It would make more sense to learn with that. In other words, if I was to try to do it, I'd probably try it with that first. And I just, go to a blindfold, go into a room, and just learn to hear the difference between rooms, at first. Going in different rooms and saying, oh, okay, there is a difference in sounds. What is that telling me? And then eventually get to where, I can tell that's a longer wall on this side than that side because of the way the echo sounds.
Yeah, I would have to think maybe that you would have to maybe understand physics in a way. I don't know what the right word would be, but understand how sound bounces back and how sound is absorbed.
From the vaults.
Another prayer from my broken body, healing soul, light up spirit, now you feel it, crackle smile, feel my favor, taste your flavor. Another prayer from my broken body, healing soul, light up spirit, now you feel it. Crackle smile, feel my favor, taste your flavor. Another prayer from my broken body, healing soul, light up spirit, now you feel it. Crackle smile, feel my favor, taste your flavor.
Spoken Bros. Spoken